Luckily, I had a new, more powerful computer with a better sound card to mix the episodes, and I upgraded the software I'd been using, and the episodes came out sounding great, better than I'd ever dreamed.
I have a special connection to episode 8. We call it the Grant family episode because David got virtually every member of my family to play a part. My dad was in the episode.
It's cold up here. What you doing with a shirt off, of all things? I tell you, you don't belong up here. You've isolated yourself from the whole world.
My brother David played a scientist.
We don't know what's causing the madness, but it seems to attack men, and they proceed to kill any woman they find.
My other brother Jonathan got to play a villain.
We refuse to let these democratic machinations infiltrate us from Earth. Democracy may serve pitiful Earthlings, but it will never be imposed on Rhomboid.
And my 7-year-old niece Nikki even got to play a part. She ad-libbed her lines and they were so great, David put them in the episode.
My kitty's stuck in the tree.
Ah, so I see.
Oh, please, mister, please get her down.
I guess they liked what I did for the dialogue replacement because they had me come back to play Lady Cylindrica again.
The answer is doing it from the bottom up, going to help the people, doing little things to better the lives of those less fortunate.
It's kind of funny because when my mom heard episode 8 and heard how these sound bites could come together to make a wonderful story, she sort of regretted not being willing to record dialogue for it. So David's already recorded some lines for her in episode 11, which we hope to finish someday.
Your attention, please. The grand prize in the chili cook-off goes to Franklin D.
My friend Aaron Linquist can do great voices. He started working for us on episode 5, and he's taped material for the last 3 episodes we haven't even finished yet. I think Whitley would be proud.
Welcome to Rhomboid, Captain Triangle.
Sir, a runner has just informed me that a huge body of troops is massing.
Sir, we've taken heavy damage to our number 4 shield. We're getting
Captain Triangle, this is Aelborn, head of the Geometric Council.
My favorite Aaron Linquist character is a Frenchman named Thales, and he brought a whole new dimension to episode 9.
Do you have any cigarettes? Gauze Blanc, perhaps? I'm not too fond of American cigarettes. No, not fond of them at all.
No, I don't smoke.
You do not smoke? What are you, a funny man?
And episode 10 was a lot of fun for me. I got to come in and play evil clone Cylindrica. Always fun to play the villain.
I prefer to shave myself.
Oh, I can do it. Relax. I'm gonna shave your neck under your chin. Here we go.
Bob Reed was in the first scene of our first attempt at a motion picture project in 1982, and he's in the last scene of our last completed dramatic project in 2005.
Sorry to bother you, sir. We spotted a life raft 20 degrees starboard. The lookout reports 2 people waving.
Very well. Prepare to come alongside.
For his long-time association with the studio, to say nothing of 25 years of friendship, Bob Reed is now part of the Suburbia Hall of Honor. I don't know what we're going to call it, but that sounds good. And Kerry Sims, who, without his help, we couldn't have shot Heartstrings or Wishes. He joins Bob Reed in the hall. And of course, Franklin D. Hall, my father, he built Suburbia Studios and many of our early sets and got us started. He's also taking his place in the Hall of Honor. And if my dad got us going, it was my mom, Shirley Hall Hurd, who kept us going through the years, often just staying out of our way and letting us do our own thing. But we couldn't have done what we did without her all those years, and she takes her place in the hall too. And there are several other people I could name as I think about it. They just multiply in my consciousness, but 3 come to mind. Chris Freeland's mother, Ruthie Freeland. She's been a cheerleader for us all these years and secured the site for our first premiere. Bob Faulkner, he was in Wishes and let us use his house a lot for the movies. And my aunt, Lynn Prater, she gave me tons of filmmaking books in the early days and always enthusiastically supported what we were doing.
One of the interesting comments I hear from a lot of people, and in fact I hear it from my wife Sophia, and I hear it from like her niece who's a teenager now, is that, that's really different. That, a bunch of kids, you're in your teens, and instead of out doing other things, running around the streets, you're actually doing something really creative. And it was really first rate.
Because I have some incredibly talented friends, we were able to produce several worthwhile projects over the years. Many of them hold up even today and are enjoyable to watch still. As the years ticked by, though, I was worried they would begin to disintegrate, so in 2001, I started restoring them. I began with the Captain Triangle tapes and carefully digitized each episode onto my computer, cleaned it up, and then archived it on compact disc. Once I had the Triangle series done, I went to work on the original audio dramas we'd done in the early 1980s, and they were in bad shape. In one case, a cassette literally disintegrated as I digitized it, but we were lucky we didn't lose a single second of a completed project. After they were safely archived on CD, I turned my attention to the original movies we'd done on VHS. Using the Edit Masters, I was able to transfer those to DVD myself, and those are now nicely archived, but when it came time to do our broadcast quality movies, I had to find a studio to help me with that. This has been a 5-year restoration and archival project I've been doing in my spare time, but if you look at the difference, say, between the VHS of Heartstrings and the new DVD of Heartstrings, it's gorgeous and it's been well worth the time. I did a 20th anniversary edition of Wishes, and I mailed to the cast and crew, and on that disc I included a making of featurette and a tribute to my good friend David Whitley, and we were able to track down his wife and family and send them DVDs. All the movies have now been restored and archived onto disc. Each one has at least one special feature, and this documentary will be the last piece of the puzzle. And now all this stuff can sit on the shelf and gather dust without disintegrating. And hopefully we can add to our collection. I think both Brian and Chris will agree. We're not done yet.
I know that David's working on a new script and a new screenplay. I told him the other day that, if I were a rich man, I'd come down in a heartbeat to help him film it. If nothing else, we'll probably get together and finish the Captain Triangle series for sure. That's a definite. We need to finish that.
We've had a lot of fun. We're still working on stuff. After all this time, we're still working on stuff, and who knows what we'll come up with next.
Out in the office in the old days, Chris, Brian, Whitley, Alan, my dad's alive, we're making movies. Memories don't come any better than that for me, and I'll tell you, as I've gotten older, I've come to realize not everybody has such great memories. So how lucky am I just to have the memories? But more than that, we have the projects. Nearly 50 completed projects that we can enjoy. No one outside of our friends and families ever heard of Suburbia Studios. We haven't won any Oscars, no fame, no fortune, yet. But I think we have something far more valuable than the memories, the projects, or fame or fortune. We have the friendships that have continued to endure even to this day. What Suburbia Studios represents has always been a blessing in my life, and I think it'll continue to be a blessing, just as I know our friendships will continue. The future's always better than the past.